The Sandy Hook has been mentioned, obviously, a lot in recent days. You lived through that horror. And I have to ask you about these crackpot nonsense stories out there. I hate to even bring them up. They're so offensive, especially to someone like you who lived through it. But what's your reaction when you hear there are public officials even out there who have entertained and shared this nonsense? What impact does it have on people like you, survivors?
They are so offensive.
This Jake Tapper guy is such a fucking humongous douchebag, I swear. You see me coming, Jake, you better turn the other way. Okay, so he says these crackpots, offensive, nonsensical things. I hate to even bring it up. You don't have to bring it up. You don't have to. This lady's like, oh, it's so offensive to question what actually happened is so offensive. So it's such a crackpot thing to do. It's again, you're a nut job if you question the official story. And again, now they're not just warning this Jake Tapper douchebag who I have so much to say about. They're not just warning the officials now. What they're saying is that anyone who questions it is so offensive. You're disgusting. You're so fucking offensive. Okay? If you think that the government's lying about what happened on September 11th, if you think the World Trade Center 7 was brought down by explosives, you are a disgusting human being. You repulse me. You should be locked up. That's where it's going. You have a mental illness. You shouldn't be allowed to express yourself publicly anymore. And PC Principal's coming for you. And PC Principal's going to kick your ass until you understand it's not acceptable. Okay? And Jake Tapper, you ain't no PC Principal. And I'm telling you, you see me coming, you better turn the other way. You've offended me way too much. And again, he wants to act like, oh, I care about you so much. You poor lady, everything you've been through. Here, let me put this offensive thing in your face. On the day when you get to feel good and talk about your new book being released. Oh boy. Here's this offensive thing that I'm going to put in your face. I wish I didn't have to. This nonsensical, meaningless thing that we don't need to bring up at all, because we can talk about, what happened at the college and what happened at Sandy Hook and about your new book. But no, we need to bring up this incredibly horrible, offensive thing. They're talking to you. They're telling you that if you question the official story, you're disgusting and offensive, and you probably have some kind of mental illness. They're talking to you. I'm talking to you, Jake Tapper. You see me coming, go the other way. You're going to lose your fucking front teeth. Okay, so, excuse me. I don't mean to be such a angry person all the time. I'm really not. I love you all. That's why I'm saying these things. This is so important. And it just goes right by so fast. You might not even know this is what they're doing. These people in the media, they've been protecting pedophiles in Afghanistan and in the Pentagon. So oh, but we care about the children. We care about you so much. We wish we didn't have to do this. But we got to make clear to all those conspiracy theory nut jobs that if you open your mouth, you're going to go on a list. Again, thanks again for everything. One of these days this war is going to end, I hope. Till that day, stay cool.
Welcome back to The Lead. Let's stick with our national lead, the school shooting in Oregon. Years before Douglas County, Oregon, Sheriff John Hanlon found himself investigating that school shooting in his own community. He apparently shared a video on his Facebook page, one of those offensive videos based on ludicrous conspiracy theories. This one about the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting that left 26 innocent people, including 20 small children, dead. The post has since been removed from his Facebook page. When CNN asked him about it, Hanlon said he did not post the video but did not provide any further explanation. Let's go now to CNN's Kyung La. Kyung, does it seem likely to you that someone else would have posted this on his Facebook page?
Look, anything is possible, but most of us know what's on our personal Facebook pages, and this does appear to be his real Facebook page. That's why there are now these calls, Jake, that he stepped down.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Hanlon.
Douglas County Sheriff John Hanlon is the face of the mass shooting investigation at Umpqua Community College, calling for compassion for the 9 murdered in his county.
These families are currently living through the nightmare in the most personal way possible.
But he did not express that same sympathy for the 21st graders and their teachers killed at Sandy Hook. On his Facebook page in 2013, he apparently posted a link to this video produced by conspiracy theorists. The viral video calls the victims actors, ludicrously claiming that Sandy Hook is a hoax cooked by the government to take guns. On his Facebook page, this comment about the video. This makes me wonder who we can trust anymore. The sheriff denied to CNN that he posted the video.
You didn't post it?
No. I know what you're referring to, but no, that's not a conspiracy theory belief that I have.
At this point, I'm not buying a word that's coming out of his mouth.
The Brady campaign to prevent gun violence is demanding the sheriff step down.
This guy who has just about zero credibility and we know has extremist points of view is now charged with leading an investigation into this terrible tragedy that's happened in his county and is supposed to come to an unbiased point of view.
The campaign also points to this letter posted on the department's Facebook page that the sheriff sent to Vice President Biden after Sandy Hook, saying gun control does not prevent school shootings. The sheriff writes, any federal restriction on the Second Amendment shall not be enforced by me or by my deputies, even pledging to stop any federal agents from doing so in his county. Sheriff Hanlon has a history of opposing gun control, speaking here at a public hearing on a proposed bill requiring background checks on private gun sales.
This law is not going to protect citizens of Oregon in that it is going to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. It will not do that.
Now, the bill was signed into law this last May. The sheriff has not responded to repeated calls by CNN today. Jake.
All right, Kyung La, thank you so much. Joining me now, Caitlin roig-debellis. She was a teacher in Newtown, Connecticut when that gunman blazed through Sandy Hook Elementary in 2012. Caitlin saved her first grade class from the carnage. She has since written a book describing that dark, dark day and her life since. It's called Choosing Hope, Moving Forward from Life's Darkest Hours. Caitlin, thanks so much for joining us, and thank you so much for what you did that day.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful to be here.
What did you first think when you heard about what happened in Oregon just days before your book was about to come out?
Unfortunately, the pain is so near and dear. My heart goes out to their community, to the victims, to their families. It's just heartbreaking. I'm so sorry.
The Sandy Hook has been mentioned, obviously, a lot in recent days. You lived through that horror. And I have to ask you about these crackpot nonsense stories out there. I hate to even bring them up. They're so offensive, especially to someone like you who lived through it. But what's your reaction when you hear there are public officials even out there who have entertained and shared this nonsense? What impact does it have on people like you, survivors?
They are so offensive, especially to those who lost and were lost. What I have learned is to not give it any attention or a voice. You know, you can't argue with someone who has such a, unrealistic, awful thought.
In Newtown,
just not to give it any credit.
In Newtown, you hid your 15 first graders inside a tiny bathroom to save them from the gunman. You wrote about your will to save those children. Very movingly, you wrote, quote, "With the inescapable sounds of carnage happening all around us, my little ones are feeling desperate." At that point, you tell a child, quote, "We're going to be okay. I promise. I never make promises I can't keep, especially not to children, but this is a matter of life and death." Caitlin, over the weekend, there were politicians arguing that if teachers had had guns at Umpqua Community College in Oregon, more people may not have died. What's your take on this argument that arming teachers could be a way to save lives?
You know, first and foremost, my expertise is as an educator. So my background is in ensuring and making sure that children are successful. And I am so incredibly grateful that gun control and gun sense are being discussed on the platform that they are in our country, because they are such crucial issues. But the expertise that I can speak of is making sure that kids are successful.
You're no longer teaching. You founded the organization called Classes for Classes. You try to instruct children about tolerance and teach that there's no room for hate. How open to your ideas are you finding educators?
Well, first, I'm a teacher through and through. I will be a teacher always. That is at the core of everything that I do. And certainly now with the nonprofit organization Classes for Classes, that's what I get to do every single day. And the response has been amazing. It has been amazing. We are a tool to actively engage classrooms, kids, in learning to care about one another and learning to be empathetic and compassionate, and to learn that in life we're all connected, and that the way the world is supposed to work is to reach out and make sure that others have what they need. And that's exactly what our website is a platform for. It lets kids really shine in all of the amazing things they're doing in correlation with their project.
Caitlin roig-debellis, thank you so much for joining me. Best of luck with the book and with your new mission.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.